By the way, Dimitri's an awesome agent, and you're lucky to have him on your team. So he's telling me you're looking to buy a home, your first home, I think. Typically, there's two ways to get a loan, right? There's income verification and no income verification. So what I typically do is just ask you some basic questions about your income, your credit, your down payment, and then that gives me a general idea of which program you could fit into, and then we start gathering supporting documents. Does that make sense? Okay, so I'll start if you don't mind. Tell me a little bit about what you do for a living. Okay, how long you work for someone, or do you own, or does he pay you 1099 or W-2? So, okay, how long have you been working for him? And a ballpark, how much you get paid? And how long has your wife been working? Okay, and she's also a W-2 employee. So cumulatively about 170, give or take. In terms of credit, any idea on your credit score? How about debt? Are you carrying any student loans, any extravagant cars, leases, anything like that? Now, what about a down payment? What were you thinking about in terms of a down payment? 50 to 70,000. Okay, 800 would be the purchase price. So, I'd have to look at the credit and the numbers, but I don't think you're really far off. So basically, if we're using a government program, right, a conventional loan, which is quasi-government sponsored by one of the agencies, Fannie or Freddie Mac, I don't know if you've heard of either one of those. Typically, it's income driven, right? So we have to document your income, 2 years of your W-2 and your wife's, and we cannot exceed a 50% income to debt threshold, meaning for every dollar you make gross, right, we're able to utilize 50% of that to cover your mortgage, your taxes, your insurance, your mortgage insurance, and HOA if there is any. We typically divide the purchase price by 4, and that should give us a good idea of what you need to document in order to qualify, right? So if we take 800 and we divide it by 4, you're at about 200, and it sounds like you're around 160, 170. So depending on the debt and how much taxes are on the property, you may be very close. Typically, we look for an average of 2 years, and sometimes that could be 1 year for bonus and commission, but salary is just your latest your latest pay stub. We'll typically use as an average minimum 12 months, maximum 24 months. Yeah, absolutely. If you talk to your wife and you decide that you want to take the next step, give me a call, or you can just text this number, first, last name, middle initial, you and your wife, and an email address. I'll send you a link to my pre-approval portal. Obviously, there's some sensitive information, Social Security, tax records. We want to keep it as secure as possible. So you upload all the documents, and then we start the work.